Hello, and welcome back to another Craig and Dave Unscripted. So it's just me and Dave again today. Now, astute followers of ours, and we know there's a few of you out there, will notice that every single one of our Unscripted comes with a beautifully little hand-created thumbnail, and they're all Dave's responsibilities. Today's Unscripted is ominously titled Game Over. So episode number 52. So Dave, why is episode number 52 titled Game Over? Set the scene for today's Unscripted.
Yeah, well, I was going to do something really clickbaity, and I was going to put the end, the end of Craig and Dave, right?
Don't do that.
And I thought, well, yeah, that will probably get an awful lot of views. But at the same time, it would be very, very clickbaity because it's not the end of Craig and Dave.
No.
But it is the end of Unscripted. Oh no. Yeah, we've done 52 episodes, and we kind of had in our mind for quite some time now that once we got to episode 52, it would be the end of kind of series 1, if you like, and then we'd have a little think about where we're going. But we've done one of these every week, apart from 1 week where we took a break at Christmas.
Yeah.
We've done one a week, and therefore we've done a whole year's worth of Unscripted. And so we're just at that place now where we want to take a pause and we want to think about, well, what are we going to actually do with Unscripted moving forward? So this is going to be the last episode for a little while. But hey, I'm sure it's not the end.
No, it definitely won't be the last you hear from us. It does give me, I guess, a little bit of respect for those full-time YouTuber or vloggers who do this for a living, because it is a time sink. And then, yes, we all know they have far bigger production values, but we also do run a company, and we still teach 1 day a week, and Dave has a family, and it's sometimes we do ride that deadline pretty close, that Monday 4 p.m. deadline, which if anyone's paying attention will notice we've missed this week. It was a bank holiday weekend, so I was driving back from London when it was like, oh no, we've missed it. And it is a bit of a time sink, and although we love doing them, we just thought we were going to take a bit of a pause. So I thought what would be nice, Dave, is we'll take a look back. So
we used to bank them up as well, didn't we? We used to kind of record a whole batch in a row, and occasionally I would sort of swap the t-shirt or the polo shirt that I was wearing, so it didn't look like I was wearing the same clothes every single week. But I've kind of run the course of my wardrobe at this point, and we sort of banked them up in advance, which took the pressure off a little bit. But of course, things would happen, wouldn't they, in between recordings, and we think, oh no, we can't slot one in. What we going to do? And it would disrupt it. So we started to kind of just do them literally in preparation for the Monday, and then it got to the point where we were certainly for the last few episodes, we've actually recorded them on the afternoon just before they go live. But we used to bank them up, but we don't do that anymore. We want to try and be a bit more responsive. So anyway, sorry, Craig, you were saying you want to take a look back.
Yes, indeed. I thought what we'd do then is just a nice, easy episode, just you and I, and we'll take a look back over the last 52 episodes. Now, if you're about to turn off there, because I don't have time to listen to that, we're going to group them together. We're not going to spend hours talking about them, but I thought we'd have a look. So we started right back to episode 1. 52, episode 1. It all started with the famous FAQs answered video. That's where we all began, answering some of those silly questions we get on a weekly basis. Which one of you voices the videos, and why are your videos so boring? And sorry,
none of that has changed, of course.
Sorry, it's academia. But then no, go on, Dave. Sorry.
I was just going to say, before we move on, I was just going to say that one of the ambitions for Unscripted was just to see what we could do with the subscriber base. And we always said that we our ambition is not to become YouTube celebrities. If we were going to do that, we could do that in a much more efficient way. But instead, this was more about giving a face to Craig and Dave and giving us a platform to be able to talk about various things that we wanted to talk about. And at the time, we had about 24,000 subscribers. And I remember saying in this episode, I have no idea why people would subscribe to our channel. We understand why you view the videos, why you watch the videos, for the subject knowledge content and everything, for GCSE and A level, but why would you want to subscribe? It was a bit of a puzzle to me. And I thought, well, I wonder if we kind of put a proper sort of face to Craig and Dave, and we're not one person, we are actually two people. And, we just have a chat once a week. I wonder what that would do to the subscriber base. And it's grown by about 10,000 subscribers. So it's, has it achieved its objectives? I guess so. I was intrigued as to what would happen if we put out a weekly video that was a bit more, a bit more us. And that's what it's done. It's interesting. So anyway, sorry, let's crack on.
That's all right. Yeah, it has put some faces to the names, I think, which is nice. And those mysterious voices that you're forced to listen to for homework, a lot of you. So yeah, that was our very first episode, 52 episodes ago, the FAQ answered. We then indulged in a bit of a kind of soft start, wasn't it? We didn't really know where we were going, but we did a kind of nostalgia, a trip down memory lane. They were fun episodes. They were looking at our experiences of computing and how we got into it as kids and where the company all began. Craig and Dave, some of you think we've been around forever, but we haven't. We've been around for 6 years as a company. How did we meet? How did the company form? And then I like this, A New Hope. It very much, I'm guessing you picked that straight out of a famous sci-fi series.
Well, obviously.
Dave,
I've quite a bit of fun with these thumbnails, actually, just coming up with sort of images and then, little titles for them and things like that. I quite enjoyed that. That one, A New Hope, I've actually you can see all the dandelion in the background. I've sort of hand drawn that and kind of rotated all the little Craig and Dave symbols to make it look like a dandelion. No one notices all these things, and I have no idea why it's a dandelion. I just had this idea in my head, and I thought, I got to make a dandelion. So that's what that was all about. How we got into computer science and all that. That was those were good episodes. But you're right, we didn't really have a clue where it was really going at that time.
No, we didn't. It was very much a bit of an intro, wasn't it? It was some fun episodes, though, just going back. And I learned some new things about my friend Dave here as well, and how he got into community, anecdotes shared. Go on.
Yeah, the other thing I've just remembered, I meant to say it a moment ago and I forgot, is you'll notice that the sort of #2, #3, #4, #5 episode indicators there are moved over. They're on the right-hand side, but they're moved over to the left, because at the time I thought, what am I going to do if I get to 99 episodes? I won't have enough room. I better move it over a little bit. And then it's like, what if I get to 999 episodes? What am I going to do? I better move over a little bit. So I think I can actually fit like 10,000 episodes in there. I think that was perhaps a bit ambitious.
Yeah, I think so. A year of these has been quite an undertaking. Hence my newfound appreciation, I think, for full-time vloggers. So they were episodes 2 through 5. Now we might not necessarily go in order here, but it was in episode 6 that we then introduced the community, and this was totally Dave's little brainchild, the Ministry of Silly Algorithms, which you can see we revisited again in episodes 8, 47, 36, and whatever that one is in the bottom left. Yes. So that formed 5 of our episodes. That's been fun, engaging with the community. I think that was we did lots of engaging with the community over the course of these videos, but this was a nice one to return to. If you don't know what the ministry is by now, then clearly you've got 5 episodes you've missed. You need to go back and watch it. But did you want to say a little bit about that? Because that was did it go where you expected, Dave? Because again, you didn't know what to say. You just came to one and went, I've got an idea, Craig, which is often how these things start. So yeah, what's your thoughts on sort of how successful that's been, or where it's gone? Or
I left the Ministry of Silly Algorithms. We haven't done as many episodes of it as I thought we might, and we've still got some algorithms, by the way. If you're sat there thinking, oh no, so that's it then, my algorithm isn't going to get featured. Sorry, we had quite a lot of algorithms, and we could have probably done an episode a week at one point just on the Ministry of Silly Algorithms. But we picked out some of our favorites instead, but we do have some banked up. And so it's not the end of the Ministry of Silly Algorithms. Okay, let me be clear about that. It's still there, it's still alive and kicking. And at some point, we will do an episode on the Ministry of Silly Algorithms, and we'll look at some of the other algorithms that we've also got banked up. And I won't say anything more about that. I think when we go to that episode, I'll then sort of reintroduce it. If you want to send us some algorithms, you can. But you know, the truth is, at the moment, we're not really in a position to consider those algorithms right now, so it's probably not worth sending them in at the moment. So when we do another video on the Ministry of Silly Algorithms, we'll sort of reintroduce it and encourage you to send your algorithms in. But no, it's great fun. I absolutely love the Ministry of Silly Algorithms. It's something that's close to my heart, and it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, and here's a little interesting anecdote a lot of people won't know. In the last episode we did for it, which I can't remember which one, it might be 36, no, 47, top left, there it is. Yeah, the most recent episode we did, we awarded, I think, 2 students, and one of them, totally unbeknownst to Dave and I promise, was a student from our own school, a year 11 student. Now, we don't teach GCSE, we only teach A level at our school, and we'd picked this winner, and we'd congratulated her on the episode. And of course, then we said, if you'd like to be sent a ministry mug, which of course is an option for anyone who wins, let us know the address. And that address got farmed off to someone else in our company who deals with that. So Dave and I didn't see it. And then this other chap in the company, Sam, was like, do I have to post this mug? I'm like, well, yes, please. That's what you need to do. Can't you just take it into school with you? Well, why would I do that? Well, it's one of your students. So yes, you know, brilliant. I guess technically most competitions say, I'm afraid you can't enter this competition if you're a family member or you know the people involved. But yeah, so that was a nice little totally unexpected surprise. So yeah, I did actually take that mug in, and hopefully they've got that now. Right, okay.
You'll notice also there that by episode 8, I decided we weren't doing 10,000 episodes, and it's shifted over to the right a little bit.
Well, that didn't take you too long to think to yourself, no, we're not doing that. Right. We also had a lot of fun starting in episode 7. I have tried to do these in some sort of order. So episode 7 was the first episode where we brought in a guest. So that was Laura Sash from the NCCE. And over the last year, we've had the opportunity to speak to a wide range of people. And that's been a really fun part, something we always envisioned doing early on. So you can see, we brought in Paul Long, Sasha Valamov, I believe that's how you pronounce his surname there, from Coding Rooms. We had Alan Housen, his book, John Palmer, our developer Mark, Karen Morris, girls. I mean, they've been some of my most fun episodes as well. Speaking, getting other people on. Any sort of highlights or sort of comments there, Dave?
They're all highlights. They're all great. Yeah. And it was very much part of the vision of Unscripted that we would get people coming on and talking to us about a range of issues. And again, you know, in the future, this is definitely something that that we want to do. They take a bit more organizing because you've obviously got to synchronize your calendars, and you know, you've got to try and make your guests feel comfortable and not surprise them and put them on the spot with something that they didn't want to talk about. And, you know, so it does take a little bit more planning, clearly. But no, these are people that that have all been sort of, you know, great sports and keen to be involved. And I think all of them, I haven't spoken to Laura for a while, actually, but I think apart from Laura, all of them would be more than happy to come on and have another chat to us about all sorts of things. And I know that Paul, special shout out to Paul, because Paul, I notice, you know, could be one of our moderators in the comments. He likes to add his 2 penneth worth in the comments, and that's always very well received by us. So thank you, Paul, for your comments. It's a shame. I think if I had any regrets for Unscripted, it's a shame that there wasn't a bit more community involvement in the comments. Every time we sort of put an idea out there about, what do you want us to talk about, and what about this and what about that, we didn't really get any sensible comments coming back when we asked questions. And so we sort of stopped asking questions after a while because there was no point. So it's a shame there wasn't a bit more of a sort of community engagement in the comments. But thanks, Paul. You did. You weren't prompted to do that, but you did try, and it was really nice. And yeah, Alan as well. His a great book. If you haven't picked up his book already, it's a fantastic read, How to Teach Computer Science. And I believe he's doing a sequel, which is How to Learn Computer Science, which is something that we encouraged him to do from a student perspective. So I'm sure when that's ready to be released, then we'll have another chat to Alan, and we'll go through some of that. And really nice. And Mark, by the way, in the future, our senior developer, our sort of director of development, I think you can expect to see more of him in the future, because we'll leave it for later what we're going to say about the future, but I'm sure he will be coming back for plenty of episodes.
Yeah, so that was really fun. And there's definitely some highlights there. Every time we had a guest on, they brought something different. Equally as exciting, some of my favorite episodes were where we were joined by students, or we got to talk about sort of major contributions that students had given to the Craig and Dave community, or just made us laugh. And the first one was way back in episode 15. Those who remember that, Jack Rafferty. Absolutely inspiring, fascinating young lad who got through to the finals of the BAFTA Young Game Designer. And speaking to him, really, really inspiring, right up to last week's episode 51. Again, when we had two equally as inspiring students as Jack, I believe they were year 10s, telling us about their new website and their tutorial coding project, Mission Encodable. I mean, they've always been really fun episodes. Again, I think something I would have liked to have done a bit more of, but they've definitely been some of my highlights through to that silly fan-made game that we played live on screen together. That was excellent. And your little trip to Pate's Grammar School. I mean, I'm guessing I know the answer to this question. I assume these have been particular highlights of yours throughout the last year as well, Dave.
Yeah, these are the best episodes for me. You can't be a teacher and not sort of enjoy the interaction with students. Of course, it's why we do the job, isn't it? And so to actually talk to other students and to feature some of their work has been absolutely amazing. And again, something that, for the future, if you're out there and you're currently working on a little bit of code that you want to share with us, although this is the end of the current Unscripted series, it's not the end, as we've said. So, carry on working. And if you'd like to appear on an Unscripted and have a chat to us about anything, school experiences, programming, showcasing some of your work, it's something that we'd love to do. The invitation and the offer is there. So brilliant. Yeah, love these episodes.
Excellent. So now this is why I start to forget what the next batch was. So let's see. Of course. Yes, we did a 4-part video series. So it's about just over midpoint through the year, 32 to 35, where we lifted the veil and stepped through the Craig and Dave Cryptic Challenge. I guess I should take the start of this one. So this was, whereas the ministry was very much a brainchild of Dave, this is always one of mine. For as long as I can remember, I've been making puzzles or drawing mazes, used to do little treasure hunts for people. Just all that kind of stuff. I loved you locked in a room, escape room, all those types of things. And we'd done one of these a long time ago with Craig and Dave, but it was far too difficult to access. This was on a different scale. And thank you for all those people that took part. There was some phenomenal amount of I can't know what I'm trying to say now. There's phenomenal collaboration out there between groups and sort of classes. But the school that cracked it in the end, I almost can say I couldn't remember the name, but it's on the episode 35 tile. Yes, Calderstone School. And that was another episode, of course, where we got an opportunity to speak to the students. I kind of forgot that when I was putting this together. They had worked on it all together. And when I mean that, they mean the year 11s, some of the 12s, the 13s, and the teacher almost abandoning some of their lessons and going, right, got to crack this unscripted. There's this challenge, this scripted challenge. But that was a really fun sort of community challenge we put out there. Yes, and we spent episodes 32 to 35 stepping through the challenge and explaining how it all worked and where it was hidden and how the puzzles were to be solved and stuff like that. Anything else you'd like to say about that, Dave? I thoroughly enjoyed these 4, obviously.
Yeah, of course. Well, you know, it really was your baby, but it was brilliant to see it come to fruition because, like you said, we did actually release a version of this a long time ago in the very early days of Craig and Dave. And it was just too difficult to access. We didn't make it obvious enough that this thing even existed, and so we thought we would just increase the visibility of it a little bit and see if we could get, you know, any fish on the hook, so to speak. And we did. And in fact, Calderstone School weren't the only school to solve it, but they were the first school, which is why they got a special mention. And just so everyone's aware, right now we don't have any Easter eggs out there at all. Okay, so if you are looking through our videos and resources and website and things like that, looking for, you know, is there something out there? There are no Easter eggs that you don't know about at the moment. The original Cryptic Challenge links are still there, but you know, and you could still have a go at solving it, but it has been solved. Okay, so we will very shortly be you know, changing those links up a little bit and putting a package together so that if schools want to do this for themselves independently of Craig and Dave, you'll have the resources to be able to do it. And we'll probably put that into our little extras pack for subscribing schools. So there are no Easter eggs out there at the moment. Just so you're aware, if you're a teacher and you've watched our videos for a long time, particularly our A-level videos, you probably don't remember, but they've all been replaced now. But in the very early days of those videos, there was some binary in grey text on the front slide of every single video. And if you were crazy enough to copy that binary, because you couldn't highlight it and copy and paste because it's embedded in the image of the video. But if you were crazy enough to copy all that binary into a binary to ASCII text converter, there were actually some little snippets of kind of information, some little Easter eggs and things encoded on every single video that we released back in the early days. But none of those are around anymore, unfortunately. However, we love doing this kind of stuff. So I'm not going to send you on a wild goose chase and a red herring and pretend there are things out there at the moment, because there aren't. But there will be, because I know this is something that you really like, Craig, and I love watching the stats to see, you know, who picks up on these things and seeing where the journey goes. But we will probably do another Cryptic Challenge around the autumn term, probably. We're not going to commit to it today, but we've kind of intimated in these episodes that we would do that. And so around the autumn term, we'll probably put another one together. And we may well put a few Easter eggs and bits and pieces around and about in the future as well. But we're not going to you know, release any secrets or anything today. Suffice to say that there's nothing out there at the moment to find. But if something a bit strange happens to happen in the future, then you may well take that as a signal that there could be some Easter eggs somewhere.
I mean, just to say though, I mean, we, as Dave said, we are going to remove the current Cryptic Challenge off our website and make it available as a standalone pack for teachers. But you know, for a little while yet, it is still there. So if you're finding this for the first time now, the entire cryptic challenge, which is explained in parts 1, 2, and 3 before we announce the winners, is all there. It all works completely. So you know, if you're like, well, that sounds quite cool, you can go and dig it out. And the beauty now is there's a step-by-step work solution in video parts 1, 2, and 3. So if you get stuck, you can dive into the videos. You've got your cheat guide. So it's going to be around for a little bit longer before we sort of say pull it down and make it an offline version. Right, what have we got next? Ah, yes. So we weren't afraid over the course of the last year to spout our opinions on pedagogy and academic research down the throats of our listeners. So we started in episode 11 with the forgetting curve, but I mean, I won't read all the titles out there, but yes, that was something we were very fond of, and we did about 9 videos on that: homework, effective revision, writing code in exams. But we've always said, Dave, haven't we, that we want people to really believe when they buy into Craig and Dave products, whether it's the teaching resources, whether it's our Smart Revise course companion, that everything we do is based on sound pedagogy and resource. There are plenty of providers out there who can sell you resources, and we'd like to think that one of our, I mean, maybe it's not a unique selling point. That's probably a bit arrogant to say that, but I'd like to think it's certainly something we pay very serious attention to. And you see that in the quality of our resources. Everything we try and do is not just out of our head for no reason because we know best. We know very well that we don't know best. We know the best that we can at any moment in time. And we are constantly asking why. What could we do better? What is different? What does the latest research say about X, Y, and Z? How does that change what we've got? How does that make what we currently offer better? And we are always on that journey. And we've said this many times, people who've been listening to us. It's not something that's new. And the moment you stop doing that, I think is the moment, dare I say it, that you start to become a poor teacher. When you start saying, I'm just going to do it that way because it's easiest. So yes, we have spent quite a few episodes over the last year talking about various bits of research and pedagogy and ways to approach things. And they've been fun episodes as well, because there's also some of our longest, I imagine. You can't really shut Dave up when he's talking about, sorry, Dave, about pedagogy. So on that note, Dave, what would you like to add?
Yeah, again, for me, these are some of the fun episodes because I just love talking about teaching. I love talking to teachers about teaching and challenging the establishment, as it were. And getting people to articulate why things have to be the way that they are, and getting into those discussions. And I think there'll be probably more of this in the future as well. Not quite sure what format that's going to take, but talking about teaching is a good thing. And we, like Craig says, we're learning all the time. So some of the things that we perhaps did and said in the early 2000s, now in 2022 are probably not as relevant as they once were. And the teaching profession is evolving all the time. And so I think it's quite nice to reflect on your own industry a little bit and take a critical eye sometimes and challenge the established thoughts. So I think we'll continue to do that because we are quite opinionated. Me more than Craig, but we are quite opinionated.
People just call me opinionated full stop, but then I'll say, well, have you met my friend Dave? And then he not shy of an opinion. Right. And of course, we also just had some plain old good fun as well. Not that the stuff we haven't talked about has been fun, but we did some episodes which they weren't serious about sort of pedagogy this, or bringing on a guest speaker to talk about their passion. It was and you take them or leave them, but some of these again were my favorite ones. I love the Room 101 episode, thing teachers hate, phrases teachers hate to say, and some really random stuff, just our little Christmas episode. And when Windows 11 was announced, we downloaded the press pack, didn't we, and gave that a once over to our listeners and our opinions. So we also did some very random stuff. I remember at the very start of this series, you were very concerned that you didn't have a clear vision in your mind of what this series was going to be. Who is the audience targeting? Are we targeting teachers? Are we targeting students? Are we just going to talk about nonsense? Is it just going to be about research? And I'm not sure if by the end of these 52 episodes, we've really got an answer to that question because we've done a bit of everything. But it has been fun. And again, I feel like I'm saying this a lot today, but these have been some of my most fun episodes as well. Not least because when we did episodes like this, Room 101 and 3 teacher phrases, I didn't know what was coming up. So my reactions were genuine. I mean, these were unscripted, but yeah, I have fond memories of these ones. Yeah, any thoughts, comments for the listeners, Dave?
Yeah, we've offered a real smorgasbord of different ideas, just sort of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, really. And I think the different episodes resonate with the different audiences, like you said. And one thing that we've really struggled with, well, I have anyway, is, like you say, who is the channel really for? Who is Unscripted really for? Now, it's quite clear that our channel, the way it was very much intended for students. You know, we've got videos out there that teach you the content of the courses, and that is so that you can learn it either in a flipped classroom way, or you can dip in for revision, or as many of you wrote to us and told us that your teachers are no good, and thank goodness for Craig and Dave, because we're actually teaching you what you need to learn. Yeah, thank you for that. So it was very clear, you know, what the purpose of our channel was. However, when you want to put a face to it and you want to do sort of more regular content, you know, who is that content for? And we struggled a little bit to think about, well, how do we produce content that's suitable for students? Because to be perfectly honest, you know, if you're a student, you're only a student at GCSE and A level for 4 years, you know, 2 years in year 10 and 11, 2 years in 12 and 13. You're growing up in that time, and your interests are changing, and your life's evolving quite significantly and quite quickly. And so what, you know, you needed from us or wanted from us when you were in year 10 is probably not quite the same as when you were in year 13. And then when you leave school and you go off to university and you get a job and you do all the other things, or an apprenticeship, whatever, again, you know, your interests change, and our content is no longer suitable for you because it was suitable for you when you were studying for an exam. And so how do we satisfy all these different audiences, the GCSE students, the A-level students, the students that have now gone into work, students at university, teachers that are young into the profession, teachers that are old in the profession, teachers that are authors and are offering other resources, and all these different things. And you know, what is our audience and what are we trying to achieve? And I don't think we really knew, and I don't think we really know now, other than we thought, let's put a face to Craig and Dave, and let's put a load of stuff out there, see what people like, take it in a different direction depending on how the audience reacts, and see what happens to the subscriber count. And that's what we do. But we've never monetized any of our videos, and we've got no intention of monetizing our videos. And in fact, the other thing, just to share with the audience, it's just come to me, is we get inundated almost on a daily basis, but definitely twice a week. We get offers from companies wanting to do paid promotions, right? So we've had everybody from, you know, Nike to goodness knows who, you know, wanting us to sort of either wear their clothes or use their camera or showcase their products on the channel for a little promo. And you know, we've had no end of offers of money to promote things, and we could monetize our channel. And you know, I don't mind sharing with the audience that if we did monetize all our content, we'd probably make about £15,000 a year just from monetizing that content that we've currently got and not doing anything more with it. But we choose not to. And the reason we choose not to is because we don't think it's right that if you ask a child to watch a video for their homework, that you then go and put, you know, advertisements in front of them. And we did have a bit of a shock actually when YouTube changed their terms and conditions, and they said, hey, now we can monetize any content that you put up there, whether you choose the monetize option or not. And we did at the time think, we're going to have to look for a different platform here, because we don't believe in advertising to children. So you know what we're going to do, but thankfully, although YouTube have put that in their terms and conditions, they've never actually acted on it, and we still get the option to demonetize the content, which is great. So we still do that. Will we do that forever? I don't know. I think it's always dangerous if you say never to anything, because someone's going to call you out on it. You know, the IT changes. Who knows what will happen in the future? But for now, that's not what we're doing. Anyway, I've gone off on a tangent.
You really have.
I know, but I'm just trying to encourage, get the audience involved in our thinking and what we're trying to achieve and what we're doing and where we're going.
No, it's all good, Dave. It's all good. Right, what's up next? I think I know what's up next. Yes. So we also unashamedly sold to you and expelled the virtues of our flagship product, Smart Revise. Don't shake your head. I'm proud of that. And
I've just said we do no advertising. I've just spent 5 minutes saying we do no advertising.
Yes, but we did it for a reason. We did it because we're proud of the product. We did it because we believe it will make a difference to you and your students. We did it because we had new features we wanted you to know about. And out of 52 episodes, we only did it 4 times. So that's okay. Once a quarter's all right. And as we said, we didn't monetize the videos. We've got to make a living somewhere. But yes, many of you I know use Smart Revise. It's possibly our flagship product alongside our traditional teaching resources, but this is available directly for students to use with or without their teachers' input. And it's true to say that over the course of the last 52 episodes, this product has grown huge as well, which is why at regular points we're like, we really need to tell the community about some of this new stuff. I mean, it's great what it does now, and it's still changing as fast. And I imagine again in the future we will probably continue to do the odd video here and there when we want to update people on sort of the latest features. It's the product is far from finished. It's great as it is, but we have so many ideas on sort of limited time. So yeah, 4 opportunities over the last year to sort of bring you up to date with Smart Revise and what all the latest features were in the product. Anything you want to say about those episodes, Dave?
Just that I think they will continue. It's not really advertising. It's trying to make the community aware of what they can do with our product and what we're going to do next with our product. And I think we should do that. So there will be some more videos on our channel in the future about Smart Revise and how you can use it and where we're going with it next and those kinds of things. And I wouldn't be surprised if in the future we do a sort of monthly update video that just sort of showcases some of the new features, because we do put a new feature live once every 4 to 6 weeks. And quite often there are 3 or 4 features in a release once every 4 to 6 weeks. And some of them are quite small and you wouldn't nearly really notice them, but they can make a big difference. So this is a good opportunity to just share with everybody what's happening with Smart Revise. But again, it's an audience issue, isn't it? Because you may be interested in it as a student, but only if it's a feature that you can use as a student. If it's something intended for teachers, then obviously it's really for the teacher audience. And if you've left school and you're not using Smart Revise at all, then you don't really care, do you? So it's tricky, but I think we need to do some video updates on Smart Revise just to make everybody aware of what's new.
Yeah. And I believe the final slide, let's see if I've got this correct. Yes, I have. This is everything that I couldn't put together in a category that was left. So we have seen all 52 thumbnails representing the 52 unscripted videos we've done. So this is just the stuff that was left, including our looking forward to the year, the review of our new algorithms book, discussions of heading to Bet and our review of Bet, an overview of our Telium game workshop product, and random episode there, what's next, to kind of remember what we talked about in that one. But yeah, that's everything that I couldn't sensibly fit into a category that was left. But again, all enjoyable episodes, especially talking about the book. I know that was a particular labor of love for you. That originally started off as a bit of a nip and a tuck and a bit of a just a few corrections and minor updates, and it turned into a complete and utter rewrite. And if you're working on version 1, you want to get hold of a copy of version 2.
There you are. I can't believe how thick that book is as well. It's like, wow, I actually wrote that. I can't believe it. Yeah, if you've got the first edition, I'd strongly encourage you to pick up the second edition instead, because we corrected a few things and we bulked out quite a few things. So much so that we've had to take the VB code out of the book because there was too much bulk. So we've only got Python code now. But the other thing that amazes me, Craig, is the things that people don't know. So the number of times that people ask on Facebook groups, for example, on the Exambled Facebook groups, they say, has anyone got an algorithm for this? Has anyone got an implementation of that? What about the big O notation for this algorithm? And I have to keep replying with, we give all our algorithms away for free. We've got 25 algorithms that I've coded in Python, C# and Visual Basic that are all completely free, that you can download on our website. So if you want to see an implementation of a merge sort, I think I've got 3 different implementations of a merge sort that you can download in 3 different languages.
3 different languages.
Yeah. So it's like 9 algorithms just on a merge sort. The quick sort's another one. So I've done 3 different implementations of the quick sort in 3 different languages. So again, there's 9 bits of code that you can download and use. So it's all for free on our website.
Yeah, indeed. Right. Well, there you are. I mean, it's been quite a year, 52 episodes in total, but it does bring us to as we said, game over, which leaves us with one important question, which Dave has alluded to a little bit as we've been talking. So what is the future then for Unscripted? So we've said a little bit that it's not coming to an end, that we're going to stop the sort of like weekly guaranteed rollout of an episode, sort of 4 p.m. on a Monday. But I told Dave not to discuss this during the video, so hands off now, Dave. What do you want to tell our listeners about the future for this series, or us doing these sort of videos with the community?
Yeah, so I think this is very much end of level 1. Let's put it that way, okay? And level 2 will start 2-player mode at some point in the future, but we just want to take a break. So we don't know how long we're going to take a break for. But we won't be putting out weekly videos for a little while. And then when we're ready and we've decided what the future is actually going to be, then we'll start putting out some new content again. So it's not the end, it's just end of level 1. So what will that new content look like? Well, the truth is we don't really know, because we're still struggling a little bit with, who's the audience and what do they want. And as I've said, we didn't get as much feedback in the comments as we thought we might in terms of setting a direction for us. I suspect what we'll do is we will put out videos that are intended to address certain things. So we'll probably have videos that are Smart Revise updates, and they'll go into their own playlist of Smart Revise updates. We'll probably have videos of meeting and greeting students and talking about things with them and looking at their projects and code and playing their little games and Ministry of Silly Algorithms and that kind of thing. And that will probably go in its own little playlist. We'll probably have discussions about various sort of teaching strategies and our resources and how we apply the various teaching pedagogies into our resources and other things to consider. And that will probably go into its own little playlist as well. Hopefully we'll have more adult guest speakers as well that can talk about their projects and the work that they're involved in. And that will probably go into its own little playlist. And we've already mentioned Smart Revise, but I want to do some more sort of developer discussions. So, some discussions with Mark about some of the things that we're thinking about for the future with Smart Revise and the challenges and problems with implementing some of those things, because there's a few things on our roadmap that we really want to do, but they're really gnarly. They're very difficult to achieve. They've got lots of little gotchas. I mean, for one thing that we get asked for is when students complete questions in task mode, can that data then populate to awards and quiz and other things, so that if my students never use quiz, but I always set them tasks, can they work towards their mastery by doing that? Or can they, get awards just from completing the tasks? So if you've got an award that is, complete 10 questions today, and you set a task that's got 10 questions in it, shouldn't the student achieve the award if they do that task? And the answer is yes. But it's such a gnarly issue. It sounds simple to achieve on the surface, and every time we talk about it, we get knotted into all sorts of issues. And I quite like to just share with the community some of those analysis discussions that we have with Mark, and to understand the process that we go through and some of the challenges that we're facing. I think students will find that quite interesting from an analysis point of view, and some teachers too. So I think the future for me for Unscripted is that we will do more of the same, but we won't do it every week. We'll do it when we've got something we want to talk about, and we'll put it into a dedicated playlist for that particular content. So if you're a student and you're only interested in certain types of our content, then you can go to that particular playlist. Instead of having to sift through all the videos on one massive playlist. It's probably what we haven't really talked about this, but that's my idea. I don't know what your idea is, Craig.
I don't know yet, but as always, Dave will set the direction, and then I'll argue with them, and we'll come to some middle ground. But no, I think you're right. I think what we've said is this will be the end of us having to be forced is not the right word, but being beholden to a regular weekly episode, sometimes having to find content to do, whereas other times we almost have too much, and just making videos for the community as and when appropriate. So Dave's absolutely right. This is not the end of us appearing sort of to you directly, but it is the end of the current Unscripted series in its current flavor and format. But if you've been with us for all 52 episodes, then wow, okay, you deserve a medal. Well done. And they'll stay up there, as is the nature of YouTube, so you can go back and look through them. But yeah, I guess for now, that's it. And I won't be saying...
Don't make any money off them.
Yeah,
this is not a plug.
Don't make any money off them. That's it. And I guess I won't be saying, see you next week in Unscripted. So yeah. It's just a bye from me.
And goodbye from him.
Bye, everyone. Cheers for watching.